You're tuning in to the deep dive. Today we're really getting into something foundational, you could say, blended cement.
Yeah, definitely foundational.
We've got this really detailed report from Cognitive Market Research, and it paints quite a picture of where this market's going.
Absolutely. And, when we say blended cement, just so everyone's on the same page, it's not your standard basic cement.
Right.
Think of it more like traditional cement that's been given a boost, mixed with other materials.
What kind of materials?
Things like fly ash, that's a leftover from burning coal, or slag from making metal, even silica fume.
Okay.
And these aren't just like fillers. They actually genuinely improve how the cement performs, make it better.
Better how? And the scale sounds pretty big, too.
It is huge. The report pegs the market at, around $305 billion in 2023?
Yeah, something like that.
And it's projected to jump to over $451 billion by 2032. That's about a 5% compound annual growth rate. Pretty solid.
That's significant growth.
Yeah.
So what's behind that? What's pushing it?
Well, the report highlights a couple of major things working together. You've got massive infrastructure projects happening globally.
Okay.
Especially where cities are growing fast, urbanization.
Right.
And maybe even more important long term, there's this real growing demand for building materials that are, greener, more sustainable.
Ah, the sustainability angle.
Exactly. And blended cement, because it uses these industrial byproducts, it kind of hits that sweet spot.
So our plan today, our mission for this deep dive, is to unpack all of that, figure out who the main companies are, what the big trends look like, and, what does it all mean for construction, for sustainability?
Right. And we're sticking close to the data in this Cognitive Market Research report.
Exactly. Ready to get started.
Let's do it. So maybe start with the big picture.
Yeah, good idea.
The report makes it pretty clear that blended cements aren't just some, niche thing anymore.
No.
No, they're actually becoming the go-to choice in a lot of situations, and for some really good reasons.
Like, what makes them stand out compared to, say, traditional Portland cement?
Well, several things the report points out. One is better durability. They just seem to last longer, stand up better to wear and tear.
Okay, durability.
And also reduced permeability.
Meaning?
Meaning it's harder for water or other damaging stuff like salt to seep into the concrete. Think of regular concrete maybe being a bit porous.
Yeah.
Blended cement makes it denser, so less seeping, which is obviously super important for things like bridges, foundations.
Especially near the coast or somewhere wet, right?
Exactly. Critical for longevity, plus often they can actually be cheaper.
Oh, interesting. Cost effective, too.
Yeah. And like we mentioned, the environmental side, a lower carbon footprint because you're using less of the traditional cement clinker, which takes a ton of energy to make.
That lower carbon footprint, that must be a huge selling point now. Connects right back to that sustainability demand.
Absolutely. It's a win-win.
Right.
Better performance, often, and better for the planet.
Right. So where's all this happening? Is it concentrated anywhere geographically?
The report flags Asia-Pacific as really the dominant market.
Makes sense.
Yeah, you just look at the sheer amount of industrial growth and, building going on across that region. It adds up.
Okay, so strong growth, real benefits. Let's name some names.
Okay.
Who are the big players, the leaders in this blended cement game?
Yeah. The report ranks them based on their stated market share. Leading the pack with about 23% is Ambuja Cements Ltd.
Ambuja, based in India.
Part of Holcim Group, right?
That's the one. Based in and by part of the global Holcim network.
So what's their story? Why are they number one?
The report puts it down to a strong reputation for quality, first off, and they seem really proactive on sustainability.
Oh, so?
Like focusing on cutting carbon emissions, being efficient with resources, stuff like that. They also have this massive distribution network across India. That's a huge plus in a market that big.
Sure is.
Their product range is pretty wide, too. They do the standard ordinary Portland cement, or OPC.
The basic stuff. Yeah. And Portland Pozzolana Cement, PPC, that's a specific blended type using pozzolanic materials, often from volcanic ash, for extra durability.
Okay.
And other blended types, too. Interestingly, though, the report does note a recent dip.
Oh.
Yeah, in their consolidated net profit and total income for the first quarter of 2024 compared to the year before.
Any reason given? Or just an observation? Could it be maybe spending on those green initiatives? or market pressure?
That's a good question. The report itself doesn't really speculate on the why for that dip,
Hmm.
but it does keep highlighting how important innovation and sustainability are becoming industry-wide.
Right.
So yeah, it's definitely possible that investing heavily there could hit short-term profits but set them up better for the long haul, especially as sustainability gets even more critical.
Makes sense.
Yeah.
Who's next after Ambuja?
Number 2, with a reported 20% share, is Anhui Conch Cement Company Limited, based in China.
Anhui Conch. Yeah, they're enormous, aren't they? A global heavyweight.
Absolutely massive. Huge network of plants, mainly across China. Like Ambuja, they offer a wide range OPC, PPC, other blends.
And their strengths.
The report really emphasizes their sheer scale of production, just huge volumes, plus big investments in advanced manufacturing tech and a very, very efficient supply chain. Gotta be, at that scale.
Yeah, logistics must be key.
Totally. And they also stress their commitment to sustainability, reducing emissions, saving energy, similar themes.
Okay, so for Anhui Conch, scale, efficiency, technology, and that growing eco-focus. Next, 15% share.
That would be Holcim itself, the
Right.
parent company of Ambuja, headquartered over in Switzerland.
Right, the global giant.
Yeah, truly global. Operating in, over 70 countries. They do the whole suite. Cement, aggregates, ready-mix concrete, asphalt.
Full service provider.
Pretty much. And sustainability is central to their whole strategy. They have these ambitious goals for cutting their carbon footprint,
Now,
using alternative fuels in their kilns, boosting energy efficiency everywhere they can.
didn't the report mention a specific product? From Holcim in the U.S.
Ah, yes, Tertium. Launched by their subsidiary Lafarge Holcim back in December 2021.
And the claim was,
A pretty remarkable 65% reduction in CO2 emissions compared to standard Portland cement.
wow, 65%. That's significant.
It really is. It shows how these big players are actively developing lower carbon solutions. It's not just talk.
Okay, impressive stuff. Who's next on the list? 11% share.
That's Buzzi Unicem SpA, an Italian company.
Buzzi Unicem. Where do they operate mainly?
Strong presence in Europe, also the US and Mexico. They offer OPC, various blended cements, and different concrete types.
And what makes them stand out?
The report points to their consistent focus on product quality. Also, innovation in cement tech and using advanced manufacturing. And again, like the others, a strong commitment to sustainability, cutting emissions, using alternative fuels.
Seeing a pattern here. Quality, tech, global reach, sustainability.
Definitely seems to be the formula for the leaders.
Okay, and the fifth one, rounding out the top 5 with 9%.
That's China National Building Material Company Limited, CNBM, based in Beijing.
Another Chinese giant.
Huge. A massive conglomerate, really. Not just cement, but also glass, new materials. A world leader in producing cement and clinker. That's the intermediate stuff.
And their strengths. Similar story.
Pretty much echoes the others, but maybe amplified. Massive economies of scale, big investment in advanced tech. And yes, a major focus on sustainability, emissions, energy efficiency, alternative resources.
Okay, so these top 5, a mix of long histories, massive scale, tech focus, and this increasingly vital sustainability push.
Exactly.
Now, the report also talks about what actually makes a cement company competitive in this market today. What are the key criteria, the things you really need to get right?
Yeah, this is important for understanding the competitive dynamics. The report lists several key things. First, obviously, the product portfolio.
Meaning the range of blends they offer.
Right. Having different types for different jobs. Then, just fundamental quality and consistency. Builders need reliable stuff.
Can't compromise on that?
No way. Then, manufacturing capacity, how much can you make? And how advanced is your technology? That affects efficiency and quality, too.
Makes total sense.
What else? Sustainability practices. This is moving from a nice-to-have to a must-have.
Driven by regulations and customer demand.
Both. Customers want greener options, and regulations are tightening. Then, cost competitiveness. Pricing always matters in materials like cement.
Sure.
How good is your distribution network? Can you get the cement where it needs to go efficiently? That's huge.
Especially in big countries or regions.
Definitely. And don't forget customer service and technical support. That can be a real tiebreaker, build loyalty.
Right, helping customers use the products effectively. What about the internal stuff? Finances.
Crucial. Financial health matters. Revenue growth, profitability. How much are they investing back into R&D for new products or processes?
Good indicators of future strength.
Exactly. And finally, just basic regulatory compliance, meeting all the industry standards for safety, quality. That builds trust, maintains your license to operate.
So it's a whole mix of factors. Product, production, price, planet, people, and performance.
That's a good way to sum it up. It's multifaceted.
Okay, so we know the leaders and what it takes to compete, but the market isn't static, right? The report mentions some challengers, companies looking to shake things up.
Yes, it does. It identifies a few emerging players that could pose a real threat to that top 5 down the line.
Who should we be watching?
The report names CRH plc,
Okay.
CEMEX SABDECV,
Yep.
Dalmia Bharat Limited, Heidelberg Cement AG, and UltraTech Cement Ltd.
A mix of global and regional players there. What are their supposed strengths, briefly? CRH.
For CRH plc, the report mentions their already huge global footprint in building materials generally, a diverse product range, adopting new tech, and a growing focus on sustainability. They're established but looking to grow more in cement specifically.
Okay. CEMEX.
The CEMEX is noted for innovation, operational efficiency, getting things done well, and they're actively expanding their reach and product lines in key markets.
Dalmia Bharat. They sound Indian.
They are. Strong player in the Indian market. The report highlights their focus on efficient and specifically green cement solutions, tapping right into that sustainability trend in a massive growth market.
Smart move. Heidelberg Cement. More European focus.
Yes, strong base in Europe, known for modern production technology and, again, strong sustainability initiatives.
And UltraTech. Also
Yeah.
Indian, right. One of the biggest there.
That's right. One of India's largest cement producers. They have a really comprehensive portfolio, lots of different products, and they're pursuing quite aggressive expansion plans.
Okay, so these challengers aren't just sitting back. They're actively investing, using tech, pushing sustainability, trying to grab market share.
Exactly. It suggests the competitive landscape could definitely shift in the coming years. You can't just rest on your laurels.
No kidding. And the report links future success to something specific, right? Something about energy efficiency.
Yes, it really emphasizes the growing demand for energy-efficient buildings and infrastructure as a key factor.
Okay, let's connect those dots. How does blended cement play into building energy efficiency? I thought it was more about the production footprint.
It's both, actually, because blended cements use those supplementary materials, the fly ash, slag, etc. The resulting concrete can actually have better thermal insulation properties compared to concrete made only with standard Portland cement.
Really? Better insulation.
Yeah. So buildings made with it might need less energy for heating in winter, less for cooling in summer.
Ah, I see. So lower energy bills, lower operational carbon footprint for the building's whole life.
Exactly. It's a benefit that extends way beyond the production phase of the cement itself. A long-term advantage.
That's a powerful selling point. So for companies trying to break in or gain ground, what should they focus on to leverage this?
The report strongly suggests prioritizing R&D, developing new, innovative blends that offer even better thermal resistance.
Push the science.
Right. And also blends that take less energy to produce in the first place. Attack it from both ends, production and performance.
Makes sense. Innovate the material. What else?
Getting the right certifications, things that prove compliance with green building standards. That's going to be huge for winning projects, especially those with specific environmental goals.
So verifiable proof of green credentials.
Absolutely. And finally, the report advises engaging with the industry. Talk to stakeholders, participate in green building groups, educate architects and builders about the benefits of these energy-efficient blends. Build that credibility.
So it's innovation, validation, and communication.
Pretty much. That seems to be the path forward, especially for newer or ambitious players wanting to carve out space in this market.
It definitely sounds like the future of blended cement is tied directly to this bigger push for sustainable, efficient buildings.
Couldn't agree more. The trajectory seems clear.
Well, this has been incredibly insightful, a real deep dive into the blended cement world thanks to this cognitive market research report.
Glad to talk through it.
So just to quickly wrap up the key takeaways for everyone listening, we're seeing a blended cement market set for major growth.
Driven by infrastructure, urbanization, and that huge sustainability push.
Right. Asia-Pacific is a hotbed of activity. We identify the top 5 players, Ambuja, Anhui Conch, Holcim, Unicem, CMBM, and saw the mix of factors keeping them there. Quality, tech, scale, sustainability.
And the criteria for competing are broad product, cost, distribution, service, financials, and green credentials.
Exactly. We also flagged those rising challengers, CRH, CEMEX, Dalmia Bharat, Heidelberg Cement, UltraTech, who are actively pushing the leaders.
Showing the market is dynamic.
Definitely. And finally, underscoring everything is this critical link between blended cement and the demand for energy-efficient, sustainable construction. That seems key for future success.
It really pulls together the economic drivers and the environmental imperatives in this sector.
It certainly does. Which leads us to a final thought for you all to consider. Given this intensifying global focus on building sustainably, how might the strategies of both the established leaders and these emerging players in blended cement need to evolve even more?
Yeah, to meet even tougher environmental targets and adapt to changing construction needs.
Exactly. And what sort of breakthrough innovations, maybe in the materials themselves or how they're made, might we see in the next few years as this market keeps growing so rapidly?
It's a fascinating space to watch, especially as we try to build a more sustainable future.
Definitely something to keep an eye on. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.